attribute-based theory of money lays out a bunch of attributes that make for a good money, and fungibility is one of these. It means items that are identical that can be swapped out or replaced by one another. For example, you could have a $1 coin and easily switch it out for another $1 coin, and for all intents and purposes, they function the same way. They're basically identical, even though they have different years and different patterns on the coin. Bitcoin works basically the same way. You can swap out one Bitcoin for another, and they have the same function. But how far does that fungibility extend? For example, in the fiat world, if I had a gold coin that had a certain year on it, and it made that coin particularly rare, that coin would actually be worth more than another $1 coin. That adds a certain degree of non-fungibility between two $1 coins. Similarly, banknotes can easily be tainted so that they're easily tracked if stolen. This also adds a certain degree of non-fungibility. We often think of Bitcoins as being completely fungible, but is that really the case? Recently, the US Department of Treasury actually put sanctions on certain Bitcoin addresses, meaning that coins that are sent to or from those addresses are tainted. Some people would say that traceability and fungibility are not the same thing, but they do affect each other. For example, if a coin becomes harder to move because of its association with a tainted address or sanctioned address, then that could make the coin lose value. It may be harder to sell that coin on the open market. It's easily conceivable that someone would settle for a lower price in order to get rid of that coin. In contrast, coins that are associated with some of the earliest Bitcoin addresses may actually be seen as more valuable. Seeing as Bitcoins can actually be differentiated from each other, and their association with different addresses could conceivably change the value of the Bitcoin itself, I wonder if this would have any tax implications. Currently, when you buy or sell Bitcoin, capital gains tax applies. This means that if you bought Bitcoin when it was down low and then sold when it was up high, you are going to pay a certain amount of tax on the amount that your coin has appreciated in value. Let's say that we had Bitcoin in a wallet that you haven't touched since 2013. Then you had a separate wallet with different Bitcoin, which was a separate, unique digital asset that you bought in 2018. Now, let's say that you only sold the coin that you bought in 2018, a coin that has actually depreciated. I wonder if tax laws group all of those Bitcoins together as fungible, interchangeable goods and average out the price, or whether you can actually identify that this is a unique, non-fungible asset, and while the price of the 2013 coin may have gone up, the price of your 2018 coin has actually gone down. If Bitcoin is going to be treated like a commodity, like say a house, I would presume that it should be dealt with like a house. You have one house that appreciates in value, you have another house that depreciates in value, and you only sell the one that depreciates. That should be what you're taxed on. I would presume that if you only touch the depreciated Bitcoin, that it should be treated differently. But at the end of the day, I wonder whether logic has anything to do with it at all, because a lot of tax rules tend to be very arbitrary decisions that bureaucracies make. But I would love to know your thoughts about the fungibility of Bitcoins and tax implications or other implications that this could have. So let me know in a comment below, and thanks so much for watching. Before you go, please subscribe and hit the like button. And a huge thank you to all of my supporters on bitbacker.io and Patreon. If you haven't checked out Bitbacker yet, please do. It's kind of like Patreon for crypto. And a final huge thank you to the sponsors of the show for making these videos possible.